Hi, I'm Cassie, and you're watching TIGR Review's Dreams of Tomorrow on the Indie Game Report. In Dreams of Tomorrow, the future of Earth has fallen. It's looking pretty desolate, but we're working on changing that. What we're going to do is collect dreams into our dream catcher, slowly weave them into a dream sequence, and then send this dream into the past in hopes of influencing change for the future. Players will move around a collective consciousness, working on gathering experience, hope, and creativity, so they can gather the right kinds of dreams and weave the best dream sequence. Eventually, a player will reach 5 dreams in their dream sequence, which will trigger the end of the game. And at the end of the game, whichever player has acquired the most points from dreams and also from creating resonance will be the winner. Let's go take a look at how the game plays, and then I'll tell you what I think of Dreams of Tomorrow.
In Dreams of Tomorrow, you and your opponents will individually be working to gather dream cards by spending experience, and then work on building the dream into your individual dream sequences using your hope and creativity. Each dream woven into a dream sequence is worth its dream points at the end of the game. Each dream may also contain symbols and colors on the tops and bottoms of the cards. These colors and symbols represent the dream's resonance type, and when you have at least 2 dreams in sequence with matching symbols, you achieve resonance and will earn points for it at the end of the game. On your turn, you'll move your player figure around the center board known as a collective consciousness, deciding to either move up to the 3 free spaces you have, or spend resources to travel further. Depending on where you land in the collective consciousness determines what actions or resources you get to take. Some will allow you to catch a dream into your dream catcher, or weave a dream sequence for endgame points. Others may allow you to acquire resources or activate the abilities of acquired dreams. The game end is triggered when a player weaves their 5th dream sequence, or 4 in a 6-player game. Whichever player has the most points from woven dreams and resonance combined will be the winner of Dreams of Tomorrow.
Alright, so before I tell you about my opinion of Dreams of Tomorrow, I do want to give a little disclaimer that the publisher, Weird Giraffe Games, is a member of the Indie Game Report, and also I got to play Dreams of Tomorrow before it was the kind of game it is now. So I've seen it in its prototype form, and I've seen it evolve and change into what it is now. So I do want to just preface my opinion and review with just a little bit of information about the background that I have related to this game. With that being said, I want to talk about first the artwork of Dreams of Tomorrow. The artwork is beautiful, it's amazing, I love it, and I'm just so excited that the publisher let us know that there's going to be even more artwork for some of these dream cards, and I'm just super excited to see what the future art is going to look like, because I'm totally taken aback. I love rainbow-y looking things, and this game kind of gives you that rainbow feel. There are cards I'm going to show you in a little bit, which are expansion cards, and they have double rainbows on them, and I'm just like in love with the rainbow color thing going on. I do want to say though that the artwork seems really heavy, not heavy, but I guess like the best way I can describe it in my mind is technical. The art looks really like futuristic, really sci-fi. So it works with the theme of the game, but it also gives the game a little bit of a feeling that it's heavier than what the gameplay really is, at least in my opinion. So I guess I was like a little taken aback at first by the artwork, because I was expecting the game to be a lot more complex than it was, just because of the detail that went behind the art. But like I said, I love the artwork. I think it looks great. I was just surprised that the gameplay was as easy as it was compared to how complex the art appeared. You can tell a lot of thought went into the graphic design of these cards, because there is a lot of iconography with the cards, and you need to make sure that you're explaining what is going on in the game with the icons appropriately. And so at first, I was a little overwhelmed with how many icons there were on the cards, but there's a key that comes with the game so you can figure out what the icons mean. But the icons really go well with the actions that they make or perform. And I didn't really have many problems figuring out what actions were on the cards after maybe like a round or two. And like I said, the graphic design of having everything sorted into one area, the resonance icons are all in one area, things don't really get too jumbled up on the card. It's just, I really appreciate it, because at first I was like, oh man, there's so much going on this card, but there really isn't. It's just, there's icons there to describe everything instead of a bunch of words to describe everything. So I really appreciated how much effort and thought went into the different icons and the graphic design of the cards. Like I mentioned in the preface of the review part of this video, I did get to try this game out in its prototype form, and when it was in its prototype form, it had a completely different theme. And I have to say, I kind of like this theme more. It seems to make a little more sense with the actions that the game has in it that players can take. And I will admit though, at first, the terminology threw me a little bit, just because, you know, the parts of the card that make, you know, the rondel is the collective consciousness, and your final scoring tableau is your dream sequence. And so like there was a lot of terminology that related to the theme, but it was a little overwhelming at first just reading through the rules. After I got through it all and I figured out, oh, okay, so that's what this means. That's what this means. It was fine, but like I said, you know, the terminology just threw me a little bit. It was a little heavier than what I was expecting for this kind of game. Similar to how the artwork was a little heavier than what I was expecting for this kind of game, but I'm just like super into the theme, and I'm really excited to see the theme change. And I love the art. Like altogether, I'm really pleased with the physical parts of the game. And I will say, because the copy I received is a review copy, I'm really, like, it means a lot to me when publishers and designers send games that are in a nice enough form that you can appreciate what you're looking at while you're playing the game. Sometimes I'll get cards and things in review copies where there's no art, or it's just really blank text and you don't really have any excitement in playing the game, or like the components come and they're really flimsy and it's hard to really get a good feeling for how the game plays. So I really appreciate that Weird Giraffe Games sent this game with all of these nice components, and the cards are really good quality. And I like the lamination on the player boards. Like everything was really thought out, and it's very appreciated. All right, getting into the mechanics and the inner workings of Dreams of Tomorrow. I thought this game was, you know, it's really easy to learn and it's easy to play. So I would almost consider it to be like an entry level game, but it also has a lot of choice and a lot of, should I do this? Should I do that? Can I do this? And it also offers up abilities to create combinations, which is awesome. So, you know, on the surface, the game looks like it's super easy. You move around the rondel, collective consciousness, and you gather your dreams and you get your points, and whoever wins, wins. But there's other stuff going on. I was having a lot of fun with doing the combinations where I would get dreams into my dream catcher, and I didn't have any plans on using them for their points. I just needed their special abilities. And so I would just do that a lot of the time, and then I could use special abilities to create combinations so I could get the actual dreams that I wanted to weave into my dream sequence. So I really appreciated that while the game, like I said, is like an entry-level kind of game for its difficulty, it offers that kind of complexity and choice and what's the word? I guess like strategy for players that are looking for something a little more, if you know what I mean. Like I mentioned earlier, there is a mini expansion that is available for Dreams of Tomorrow, and I really love these cards. I love, like I said earlier, I love rainbows. And so some of the cards have double rainbows and some of the cards have double black areas. And while the double rainbows count for a lot of different symbols for resonance, they're worth very few dream points. And then the ones with the double black are worth a lot more dream points, but you're not gonna get anything for the resonance because there's no icons on them, there's no colors. And it just added a little bit extra to the game that was really enjoyable and appreciated. And like I said, the other cards have a lot of abilities. You have to decide, I'm gonna take this one into my dream catcher for its abilities, but this one for the resonance, but this one for the dream points. And you know, there's a lot of options. And it was just fun to have a few more options, especially if you're in the middle of a strategy and you're like, man, I am not getting the symbols I need for my resonance. It would be really nice if I could just get the symbols I needed for my resonance. Oh, look, a rainbow card came up. I'm gonna take that, and there I go. I got what I needed. Or if you were like, all right, I got resonance, but like my dream points are really terrible. Oh look, I can take that one that's a double black card, and now I feel like I've caught up. And there was just a little bit extra that the mini expansion gave to the game. So I appreciate the mini expansion. And I also appreciated this, I guess it's like a difficulty level called Nightmare. And it includes this artificial player that moves around the table among other players, people that are playing the game. And it kind of just like creates a little bit of chaos. Flips cards, shifts cards, takes dreams, moves things around. It's like it's a nightmare. So it really, the name of it works really well. But it makes you have to change your strategy sometimes mid-game because the things you planned, or I guess it makes you have to be on your toes throughout the game because things change and it's constantly shifting things around on the board and the game for you and in and of itself. So I just enjoyed having an additional option, and I also just loved the little horsey meeple. So that was really fun too. But overall, I appreciated the complexity of the game, how it wasn't very difficult, how there is a lot of option and how you can create combinations, how the mini expansion gives you just a little bit extra, and I really like the Nightmare expansion. It made it a lot more fun for me because I like a little bit of chaos in my games. I will say I experienced analysis paralysis every once in a while, which is when you have so many options, you don't know which option you want to take. And when that would happen, most of the time I would just gather resources and wait. Hopefully by the next time it was my turn, there was a dream out that had like resonant symbols that I wanted, or it had dream points that I was really looking to get. Very rarely would I go for a dream specifically for its special ability, but I definitely, or I get like its action symbols, but I definitely used them whenever I had them because it was great to be able to do combinations. I'm gonna move over here and flip this and do that and over here. But it also, because I had so many options, it felt a little bit stuck sometimes. I just didn't know which path I wanted to take. So that would happen, like I said, every once in a while, but it didn't happen all the time. And I do appreciate having a lot of options. Sometimes I just felt like, oh man, I just have so many options right now though. So just had to bring it up because it is a thing that some people don't like having a lot of options. I didn't mind it, but it was every once in a while I was like, I'm just gonna take some resources because I have no idea what I'm doing right now. In Dreams of Tomorrow, there is a solitaire version of the game. I actually didn't get a chance to play the entirety of a solitaire version of the game, but I did get a chance to figure out, the inner workings and how it plays. And it works similarly to the way you use the Nightmare variant, where it has this artificial player card that performs actions, but you have options. You can do easy, you can do hard, and you also have to achieve your goal within a certain amount of turns while your Nightmare, I guess it's not really Nightmare in the solitaire version, but it's a Nightmare, is moving around and messing things up for you. So I think that the solitaire version of the game is going to be really great, but I am going to make sure that I didn't get a chance to play it in its entirety, but I did want to bring it up and let you know how it plays and how it operates, so you knew that it was an option if you're a solitaire player and you were looking for a game that had that option in it. Overall, my opinion of Dreams of Tomorrow is this is a really great game if you are looking for a filler game that offers light strategy and medium strategy. If you're looking for something that's really complex and is going to last a while and you really need to think of your actions and options, I don't think that this is going to satisfy that for you, but this is definitely a game that's this is like a filler game that you can introduce to family and friends that don't play games. And you introduce it to them, just the base game. But then you introduce it to them again with the Nightmare variant on easy. And they get to figure out how to build a strategy a little bit and mess with what's going on chaotically. Then you introduce it to them again with the Nightmare variant on hard. And you can just keep building on it. And games that offer that are like filler games, lighter games, that don't have too much complexity going on, but will allow you to build upon them, is awesome. And I really appreciate that out of Dreams of Tomorrow. I really appreciate the ease of the set collecting. And I didn't mention this earlier, but it was nice that there are symbols, not just colors, for the tops and bottoms of the dreams for the resonance, because people are colorblind. I'm not colorblind, but people are. And also sometimes colors just look the same in different light. So I appreciate the symbols on those sides. But like I said, overall, this is a good game that's only gonna take about 45 minutes, Setup took like 5 minutes, and it's a game that you can have as a light filler, or you can make it a little more if you wanted to. Dreams of Tomorrow is going to Kickstarter soon, and you can learn more about the game and learn how to get a copy for yourself down below. If you are interested in having the Indie Game Report check out your game, you can check out our website down below. I'm Cassielle. Thanks for watching TIGR Reviews Dreams of Tomorrow on the Indie Game Report.